Hello! Hello, folks. Hello, the internet. Hello, idiots. And fans of heavy metal. It's a Venn diagram, they join in the middle, but you know, you know how it goes. Yes, okay, another iron sandwich. I'm not very well organised, I've got to be honest with you, so who knows how this is going to go. But this week, as you may know if you like heavy metal music, it's time for Bloodstock, which starts on Thursday at Catton Hall in Derbyshire. And I just kind of wanted to, well, this is basically a preview of Bloodstock. I just first wanted to start by pointlessly waffling on about why Bloodstock's my favourite festival. No disrespect to any of the other festivals that I attend and that I thoroughly enjoy, particularly Download, which I always go to and, think is awesome. But Bloodstock is my favourite, and there's a reason. There's several reasons for that, really. Well, one of those reasons is the fact that the bar in the VIP and guest area has a fantastic array of different ciders, and very nice ciders too. So that's obviously quite fundamental to my enjoyment of Bloodstock. But also, it's just there's something about Bloodstock. There's something about the atmosphere of it. There's something about the honesty of it. And people can say what they like about heavy metal fans, because frankly, most of us couldn't give a fuck one way or another. But I've never known a friendly or more chilled out atmosphere at a festival than you get at Bloodstock every year. It really is. It's just a very welcoming place, really. And the site is nice and small, so you're not having to wander around for hours. The stages are relatively close together, so you don't tend to miss things that you want to see, or you can kind of split between two bands without feeling like you've spent half the time walking. It's just brilliant, really, and the lineup, obviously, I understand that tryhards with neck tattoos aren't going to be that into the lineup at Bloodstock, but that's fine. You've got your own awful festivals to go to, haven't you? But metal fans, metalheads. Bloodstock's the one, isn't it? Really, and this year I think there's been some criticism of the lineups in recent years, but mainly from I guess people that just want to see 3 days of power metal, which is fine. There are festivals like that in Germany, I imagine, but I don't think it's actually diversified particularly. The Bloodstock lineup, it's just bigger bands have been booked, and I guess the bigger a band is, the more they are perceived as being a mainstream band. Really, if you think that Machine Head are a mainstream band, then you've got a very different idea of what mainstream means to what I have. Most people, when confronted with Machine Head, would be slightly scared. We're a little bit blasé about this stuff in the metal world, aren't we? Really, my kids are used to hearing Cannibal Corpse and don't bat an eyelid, but you go up to some old deer in the street and play a Hammer Smash Face, and I think you'd get a slightly different reaction. But anyway, so yeah, I love Bloodstock. I think it's amazing. I think it particularly helps that it's run by a family who started it for the love and just stuck with it. Because it still feels like a festival that's done for the love, and there's a real community there. The beer is of a better quality overall than most other big festivals. And as the size of Bloodstock, of course, is an issue. It's not, it's I don't know. Was it a quarter of the size of Download or something? I don't know. But there's something nice about that as well. I like big festivals for what they are, but I do find being surrounded by that many human beings a bit of a ball ache, I've got to be honest. So that's another reason why Bloodstock suits me. So anyway, right, things that you ought to go and see. I mean, I say preview. I'm just going to tell you what I think's good. Same as usual, really. Thursday, if you're there Thursday night, there's a bunch of bands playing in the on the Sophie Lancaster stage, and it's kind of party night where everybody ruins themselves for the following 3 days by overdoing it on the first night. My band played there last year and it was great fun, I've got to say. But this year, Phil Campbell from Motorhead is headlining with his kind of all-star band. But the one band that I think you ought to check out if you're there on Thursday is a really awesome thrash band called Incinerary, so go and check them out. British band, fucking awesome. Friday, though, is when it really kicks off. Now, I wrote a blog recently about the new Blood stage, and I think there's a lot, an unusually high number of bands that I'm excited about seeing on the new Blood stage this year. And I've got 4 for Friday, if you can imagine that. Jonestown, who are local to me on the south coast, they're really unpleasant. Hogslayer, amazing sludge band. I've heard some, previews of their forthcoming album, which is really, really good. I just belched them, that's not very nice. No Sin Invades Gays are playing on the new Blood stage on Friday. I've prattled on about them quite a lot in print as it is, but they are really awesome. If the tech metal stuff kind of appeals to you, but it's not quite to the point enough. It doesn't have big enough tunes. Then check out No Sin Invades His Gaze, because they do the techie thing, but they've also got big grooves and big tunes as well. They're a fucking awesome band. Highlight for me on the New Blood stage on Friday is Abhorrent Decimation. I think one of the best death metal bands in the UK at the moment, and a band that brilliantly kind of mixes together brutal death metal with the kind of grooves and the chunky kind of accessibility that, you know, that from a slightly more commercial end of the metal scale. It's not commercial music at all. It's thoroughly fucking unpleasant, but they've just got a lot of groove to what they do. It's really, I don't know. I think massive potential there. Anyway, also on Friday, Winter Filleth are playing. If you give a toss about black metal at all, then you will already know them. The new album's great. They're always good live. Yeah, I shall certainly be going to check them out. And also on the Sophie stage that day, headlining on the Sophie stage, are Rotting Christ. Now, I'm not sure if Dave Mustaine is aware that they're playing yet, but or maybe he's kind of chilled out about that one. But anyway, but Rotting Christ, again, reliably brilliant live, with an amazing back catalogue, very varied back catalogue, but particularly the last couple of albums have been heroically good. The last 3 albums, in fact, and just, you know, just an all-round awesome band, really. They're called Rotting Christ. What more do you need to know? The main stage, though, on Friday, I recommend you go and see Entombed AD. I know it's not Entombed. Well, it kind of is. It's LG Petrov, but the new album is great. It's not. I mean, it's not up there with Wolverine Blues or Uprising or, you know, Clandestine or any of those things, but it's a really strong album, and I think, you know, they'll be wheeling out the classics, which is what matters, really. Prong are playing. Go see Prong. New album's great. Triptychon, always amazing. You'll see lots of grown men weeping during that, I imagine, from various orifices. Breed make their second appearance at Bloodstock. It did make me laugh last time around when there was a lot of complaint on the forums about, oh, you're booking Hatebreed for them, and then they went down better than nearly anyone else that weekend when they played. So what does that tell you? Hatebreed are great live anyway. You've got to be an idiot not to do that. Dimmu Borgir, who knows which version's going to turn up? Is it the brilliant one or the awful one? I've no idea. And then Downer headlining. I mean, I don't know. Personally, the idea of standing in a field as in darkness, watching Phil Anselmo and his hairy mates play massive Sabbath riffs, sounds quite appealing, to be honest. So, I don't know. Each to their own and all that. Saturday, okay, on Saturday in the New Blood stage, I thoroughly recommend a band called Reprisal. They did an EP fairly recently, mixed and produced by Russ Russell. That should tell you all you need to know, really. But they're fucking brilliant, really, really good. A kind of brutal thrash, but really just amazing band. Anyway, speaking of brutal, Blood Red Throne are playing on the Sophie Lancaster stage. If you like old school death metal, but delivered with real kind of, you know, contemporary aggression levels, then they're a band you ought to go and see. Sister Sin, I love this band as people. They're awesome, but they're just great. A great heavy metal band, obviously massively influenced by the 80s and stuff like that. So if you like Wasp and Warlock and I don't know, Pat Benatar and Motorhead all playing at the same time, then go and check them out. I didn't think that through, did I? On the main stage, Shining are playing. It's the Norwegian Shining with the saxophone, not the Swedish one with the guy lying in the bath cutting himself with a pair of scissors. Evil Scarecrow move up to the main stage. Again, the kind of mates of mine, so I'm a bit biased, but if you were there last year, they got the biggest crowd of the weekend in the Sophie tent. It was huge, and, you know, ridiculously entertaining as always. Decapitated, my highlight of the day for Saturday. The new album is fucking incredible. I can't wait for everyone to hear it. But I've loved this band from the first demos, and they're just fucking phenomenal. And the new lineup's great, and they're going to be one of the bands of the weekend, I guarantee it. Crowbar, massive riffs. Carcass, general brilliance, and Emperor headlining, playing in the Nightside Eclipse all the way through. If you miss it, you are a dick. It's as simple as that. I'm already getting a bit tearful thinking about that. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, on Sunday, my recommendation for the New Blood stage is a band called Today the Sun Dies. Savage, horrible, grinding death metal. If you like that kind of thing, I think you'll love them. They did an EP, can't remember the title of it, fairly recently, which is fucking sick. Really, really good. I mean, sick in the actual sense of sick. Not sick, bruv. Although it was that as well. Voices also playing amazing black metal behaviour. All kind of avant-garde black metal behaviour, very strange, featuring the wonderful David Gray, ex of Akakoka, on drums. Just, you know, again, one of the most inventive bands around, certainly in the British scene. Colibus are playing as well. Colibus, if you kind of like things like Nevermore and stuff, and amazing female singers, then I can't recommend Colibus enough. They are actually, exceptionally good band, and really, there's a buzz kind of building around them because they've been getting a lot of opportunities recently and supporting big bands and all the rest of it. But support homegrown talent. It's something that I think we're all guilty of to some extent. Is, oh wow, amazing! Some bands come over from America to play. I must go and see them. And yet bands that are kind of available all the time over here don't have that glamour. So we can tend to underestimate them and overlook them a bit. And I think that's the case with Colibus. I think they've got huge potential. The material I've listened to is really, really strong. On a more commercial tip, Avatar are playing on the Sophie stage, big chunky riffs and brilliant sing-along tunes. And a guy that looks like a nutter. It's all good, really. I think they're really good. Their latest album is all I know, to be honest, but I really like it. There you go. And then on the main stage on Sunday, Aborted, just one of the most brutal bands on the planet. Biohazard, Bring a Vest. Obituary. Amon and Martha playing, hopefully with a big Viking ship or something. It doesn't matter, because it's going to be awesome. And they'll have beards. My beard will just kind of shrink into my face when Johan walks on stage because he has the greatest beard of all time. Saxon are playing as well, Terry Beezer's favourite band. They will, of course, be worth watching as always. Because, so it's an amazing thing about Saxon. They're so desperately uncool as far as some people are concerned, and yet they've been so consistent. They've released so many great albums over the last decade, the last 30 years, really. There's a few ropey ones in the middle, but... But yeah, for a band that you think might have been consigned to the box marked, oh God, oh, we don't listen to that anymore, by a lot of people, and yet whenever they play at a festival, they go down an absolute storm. It's just because they've got a lot of anthems. I kind of get why people don't like them, I suppose, but it's just heavy metal. Don't overthink it. Honestly. And headlining, of course, on the Sunday night is Megadeth. Now, it's no secret that I'm a massive Megadeth fan, but even I have to admit that they are a little sketchy live at times. I've seen them be absolutely phenomenal. Download a couple of years ago springs to mind. Amazing. And I've also seen them be quite average, kind of static and disinterested. In terms of the songs, Megadeth have got enough tunes to keep a heavy metal festival crowd more than happy. It's just ridiculous amount of great songs, and hopefully they'll go at it like men possessed, but not in that way, Dave. Obviously you being a Christian and all, but it's just one of those things. If the real Megadeth turn up and we get a flat out performance, hopefully with not too many songs from Super Collider and plenty from Endgame and 13 and Rust in Peace and Peace Sells and all that, if we get the right set list, I think it's going to be a winner. Although I want them to play She-Wolf, but that's just me. So Megadeth could be an amazing headliner. It's weird because last year obviously we had Slayer and Lamb of God headlined, and neither really kind of lived up to expectations, I think. Or Slayer, understandably, it was shortly after the passing of Jeff Hanneman, and you could understand why they were not exactly lacking in enthusiasm, but probably wanted to be somewhere else, and that did come across a little bit. With Lamb of God, again, so much had gone on. I think it was a bit of an anticlimactic thing, really. They were good, but they had sound problems and blah blah blah, and it just wasn't, it wasn't astonishing in the way it should have been. King Diamond, on the other hand, on the Friday last year, was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know. You never know with big bands. Machine Head absolutely smashed it at Bloodstock, and Lamb of God didn't. And Lamb of God are the bigger band, commercially speaking. So it's who knows. But my guess is that Emperor will be the band of the weekend, but closely followed by Decapitated. And I'll throw me a bit of paper away now. Who's my number 3? I did write it down. I'm going mad. No, it's gone. Wrong bit of paper. Who cares? Anyway, so that's my Bloodstock preview. You don't have to watch the same bands as me. You can go and watch all the other bands if you want, especially if you think I'm a prick. But otherwise, see you in a field. Cider is the way forward, definitely, although other beers are available. And Bloodstock. Can't wait. And there'll be more of this Iron Sandwich rubbish soon, I imagine, so apologies in advance. Cheers.